In this, our final episode, we are going to examine the ability of the ArcGIS online system to be used to create presentations. The digital maps created in the ArcGIS online map viewer can be used to create interactive presentations similar to PowerPoint and web pages. This is a tool that can be used by teachers to create content or students to create a report or presentation. In the ArcGIS online system, there are two types of presentations that teachers and students most likely would utilize. Both of these have been commonly referred to as story maps. However, in the last couple of years, story maps are a specific type of tool. And the second type of presentation tool is known as web application maps. Both of these, when completed, very much have a web page appearance. Web application maps have various templates that change over time. These web application maps have various capabilities with specific interactive tools. The best way to decide on templates is to play with the various options. For most students and projects, use of story maps will be preferred. We will introduce you to the story map interface. We will also provide you the basics of accessing web application maps from the classic map viewer. The Esri Story Maps interface was rolled out during the summer of 2019. Since that initial rollout, the Story Maps interface has expanded greatly in its capability in creating story maps and presentations, and is still very easy to use. Now, one of the ways that I like getting started of introducing this interface to students is by going to the website as far as getting started with ArcGIS Story Maps the tutorial. So let's take a look as far as in the tutorial, which is very well laid out. And it's got as far as your sections of starting your story map, building a narrative, making a map, adding immersives, add an embed, adjust the design, and to publish and share. So this does very well in taking the kids step by step of what they need to do and starting to be able to use and learn how to use this particular interface. Our experience in working with students at both the secondary and the level and the upper elementary is the students usually are able to get through this tutorial and begin to be creating their initial first story maps and playing with the interface within a typical class period. The secondary students are usually get through that in approximately 25 minutes. And we have found that the upper elementary students take a little bit longer for about 35 minutes before they get to the point of being able to go through and to utilizing this tutorial by setting up and starting their story maps. Now, the first step in getting onto this interface is beginning to the process of getting to sign in and creating an account. So this is very easy for students that have emails. Basically, here you would go to create an ArcGIS public account and fill in very quickly here as far as the first step. And then what happens is then the students get an email sent to their email address where they complete the process of creating a username and password. Now, you also have the ability of creating an account directly if you have one of these
here. And as far as with Google, and as an example, is just is filling in your Google email. Now, previously, until very recently, this Google sign-in was set up where it would read the email from the computer that your kids would be signed in on a separate tab on their Google account. That is no longer true, and for your students who do not have an email or a or are using Google Classroom, this is somewhat more problematic. And what I would do is for those students who do not have an email, is that I would begin as far as that process of filling out this section with an email with your student with your email in there and confirming the email. And then once the message comes through for that for each individual student, is then have them fill out and complete that of creating a username and password. So let's take a look at a student created or quasi student created story map product or project. And here we've got one from a group of middle school students, which what I did is I took their story map that they created in the tab web application map from the 2020 California from the California Geographic Alliance story map competition, and transferred that into the story map interface. So what you got here, and this is very typical of what you're going to get as far as the students, as far as with the title. And this particular story map is on the Bay Delta, the center of California water wars. And here you got some text. They brought in one of their web maps that they created in ArcGIS Online. More text. Another one of their web maps. And again, within the story map interface, it still maintains the interactivity from the web maps. So here as I go in and I click on one of these rivers, what I get is it brings in one of the pop-up for that. And the other one, so where we've got the name of the rivers. Again, more text. And then here is that they brought in an image to show as far as their text. And here we've got another one of their web maps, more text. Again, one of their web maps, more text. Another web map, more text. Another image, another web map, more text. Here we've got a video, more text, more text, and then a section on acknowledgements. Now, one of the weaknesses, one of the things that if your students are using a web map that was created prior to the point in time that the story map interface of bringing in the web maps configured with the legend, you will not get a legend for your web map. However, if you've got a web map, and again, if the students are creating a web map right now, contemporary, right now with the current configuration, what you will get is a legend that goes along with that. And in doing this, as you'll notice from the tutorial, you've got a lot of options as far as on your design. So now let's take a look at the process of creating a web application map. And here what we have is a web web application map, a web map, pardon me, created by a group of middle school students for the 2019 story map competition, which they had this particular one placed first place, where they were looking at the Tubbs fire, the comparison of air quality and hospital admissions for respiratory ailments during the course of the fire. And as you can see, as I click on the legend for where we've got some various dates of having the data. So what we're going to do here, as far as in the process of making a web application map, what we do is you start off, we hit a create a web app, and we're going to show all basically in these different templates. So we have a wide variety of templates that have different specific interactive functions. So what I'm going to do first here is show you this as a web application product using the Map Basic Viewer. So here what we've got is that we've got our interface here. We turn on our layers and basically it gives you the legend here, or you have the ability to change the transparency of that layer. And basically here you can click the layers on and off so you can make specific comparisons. So let's quickly go back and take a look at some of the different things that these templates can do. So here we've got an attachment viewer, and it would display informative charts based on your data alongside your map. And here we've got a slider with an interactive temporal and numeric data tool. And then here we've got one that highlights local amenities within a defined search radius. So you've got a good variety of templates here. So as you can see, you've got your students have the ability to be able to take their web maps and add text and images and stuff to create a presentation and a story map, or within the web application map, a variety of interactive tools. And then again, for you as a teacher, you can use this to create content and within the story map, or to create a lesson with the interactivity.
As you can see, the ArcGIS online system provides an additional tool to present information. The value of being able to have a platform that is based on the use of interactive digital mapping tools really adds to the understanding of environmental science concepts. This series has been designed to introduce you to the ArcGIS online system and how it provides a whole new set of resources to teach environmental science concepts. The ArcGIS online system also provides benefits and advantages to instruction in other subject content areas. The support of using WebGIS, in particular the ArcGIS online system, has become a major focus of the California Environmental Technology Education Network. This is a very valuable digital tool which is substantially underutilized in California K-12. I hope you are inspired by this video series to try it in your classroom.